Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Craft Brewed Sports. I am Mike. With me, as always, in this virtual speakeasy during these times of quarantine is Mookie. Mookie, how you feeling today, bud?
Oh man, it's beautiful outside. Tornadoes are coming on top of this pandemic. Life's going to be good over here. It's great. It's great to be here.
That would have been way better if I didn't have you muted during the first part of that. So I apologize, man, but thank you for hanging out.
Pulitzer Prize winning shit, and we're already missing it.
Also hanging out, Johnny B. Johnny, how are you doing today, man?
Doing good. Pew, pew, pew.
Good.
Pew, pew. Who else we got here today?
I don't even know what that was, man. But thank you for the finger guns to start this one off.
Oh, you're right. Put them away.
Yeah. Holster those bad boys, because we got an essential worker on the podcast tonight with us as well. Joining us, former host of Scout Team Radio, my favorite morning radio show on 12 on Sports Radio, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Chris America. Chris America, what is up, buddy?
Yo, what's going on? Listen up. It has been since March 10th. The Orlando Magic have won their last game. It's been March 10th. They haven't lost a game since March 10th, and you know what that means if you listen to our show. And if you don't, this is what that means. When the Orlando Magic win their last game before I'm on the mic. And we haven't lost since March 10th, guys. Let's hit it.
It's a good streak.
Yes!
Orlando Magic.
That is, oh, that's the greatest.
Orlando Magic.
Oh man, Chris America, I can't tell you how much I've missed that, dude. Like that was, waking up. So Chris America did a morning show on 12 on Sports. Shout out 12 on Sports as well. He did Scout Team Radio every morning with Loudbeard, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Eastern time. And there was nothing like getting ready for work in the morning after an Orlando Magic win and Chris America playing that song. Oh my God, it would get me so pumped for the day. It was the best.
Markel Fultz, Aaron. Oh God, I almost said Aaron Hernandez. Wow.
For some reason,
Aaron
that's where I thought you were going anyways.
Aaron
There
Gordon,
you go.
The Magic, 8th seed in the playoffs. We would have won the title if the season would continue. Just saying.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Chris America. We appreciate it. We're going to do another Drunken Around the Horn tonight with Chris America taking part. We had a ton of fun doing that last week with Matt Barr. Thank you to everybody tuning in. We are live on Twitter, we're on YouTube and Facebook this week. First time we've ever done that, so shout out to all of you guys. We really appreciate everybody tuning in. Be sure to drop a chat. We'll give us your sweet hot takes. We got a great show coming up tonight. We're going to talk some NFL draft and what a cluster that's going to be. We're also going to be
fantastic. It's going to go so well.
We're also going to talk Monday Night Football broadcasting duo. Tons to get to tonight. It's amazing how when there are no sports, there is still tons of sports news that we can talk about. But before we get into all of that, let's go ahead and talk about this beer that we are drinking today. This is First Pour, brought to you by Dugout Mugs. All you got to do, ladies and gentlemen, use the link, dugoutmugs.online/craft. You can get 10% off your entire order. That's it. No code to use, nothing else. Just use dugoutmugs.online/craft to place that order. You can drink out of a baseball bat just like we do here on the show. They actually just announced a new product too, a baseball game, like a little wooden board, pegboard game. It's awesome. Check them out, dugoutmugs.online/craft. Get 10% off your entire order. John, let's go to you first today, man. What do you have on tap tonight?
Well, I got this for a special occasion because I am missing baseball. Ryan, guys.
Oh, yes.
Good choice.
Yes.
Baseball weather right now, man. Through and through. Grilling out, watching the Reds, listening on the radio. I'm really missing this right now.
I agree. That was one of my favorite old man things to do, was lay in the hammock and listen to baseball. I don't think I could get more old man than that right there, but it's been robbed from me. Chris America, what's in your cup today?
I'm doing Everclear shots with Schlitz malt liquor chaser.
Yes.
This man's a hero. This man is a hero right now.
Yeah. No. I wish I was that hardcore. No, it is blazing hot down here in Florida, so we're already on our summer beers here, and I'm drinking some Kona Big Wave.
Ooh,
Here
good
tonight.
choice.
That's good stuff.
Kona?
Yeah, I gotta drink something nice and smooth, easy to go down, quench that thirst when it's 90 degrees outside already. It's an Ohio summer down here.
Ooh.
in
Is it
in
humid?
April.
Surprisingly, it hasn't been as humid as it can be, which is kind of good or bad because it does make it hotter. We haven't had rain. We're like 6 inches behind in rain this year. So it's dry, which is good, but it's still hot.
Yeah.
Gotta love
I'll
it.
take dry heat though. I'll take some.
No, yeah, dry heat over humidity any day, but it's coming. It'll be here in like 2 weeks.
Craft Brew Sports. We are talking about dry heat, hammocks, and listening to baseball on the radio.
Sure.
Hello.
Mhm.
All right.
And Schlitz malt liquor. That was my dad's drink. That's how I knew my dad was an alcoholic when I saw
When you
him
drank Schlitz.
pounding away the Schlitz.
That's when I knew.
Well,
It just sounds good though.
I could go for some Schlitz. Where would Schlitz rank between hams or Schlitz? I mean, you got to go hams, right?
Pretty capped, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
'Cause you can
I'd-
drink
that-
like 9 hams, and you can only do like a couple Schlitz, and then it's game over.
well, we can only do a couple of the beer that Drew and I are drinking tonight. We are drinking the Science of Selling Marshmallows. This is from Destination Unknown Beer Company in Bayshore, New York. It's an 8.5% ABV brew. Here's what Tavor had to say about this one. They said it's liquid Lucky Charms. Notes of berries and citrus whipped perfectly with vanilla and lactose. So, Chris America, you know what that means. Amazing mouthfeel. That's what this one means.
Oh man! And if it's got marshmallows, it sounds like a creamy
Yes,
mouthfeel.
creamy.
A white, creamy mouthfeel.
And that's exactly what it's got, a very creamy mouthfeel to this one. 4.01 caps on Untapped. I'm a big fan. First sips on this one. Mookie, what are you thinking?
It's good. It's got a little bit of hint of that saltiness, but it's not the creaminess I'm used to with. Oh, you're talking about the beer.
Saltiness and creaminess.
Beer's
Yeah.
quality. It's not quite as sweet as I would have expected, but it's all right. I don't taste the berries or citrus though.
I don't taste any berries or citrus. All I do is taste the marshmallows on this one. It's like marshmallows and then like a little bit of hops at the end. That's all I'm getting, but it's good. It's real good.
Yeah.
All right, this has been
It's 8.5%. How many are you gonna get, right?
exactly, and that's why it's going to be another fun show where I get all red-faced by the end of it, and I'm drunk and I don't know what I'm doing. It's going to be a great time, so be sure to stick around for that. Share out the show. Make sure all your friends see me make a jackass out of myself. This has been First Pour, brought to you as always by Dugout Mugs. Again, dugoutmugs.online/craft and get 10% off your entire order. All right, boys, let's get right into it today. By the way, Jenny from Ohio is saying we need some filters. We need some crazy filters. That kind of hurts.
Like for my
Ohio, get at it now.
for like
Get
my
outta
black
here.
and milds.
Filters.
And then Greg from the Sports Stand saying magic on that fire win streak.
Hell yeah!
And Joel is saying Schlitz below Genesee. So let's rank these real quick. We got Hams, Schlitz, and Genesee. Go from the most likely to drink to the least likely to drink. Chris America, we'll start with you.
I'll go Hans, Genesee, and then pour one out for my fallen alcoholic father. Drink that Schlitz down. Get that blue bull going.
Bottom of the barrel Schlitz.
If you're not riding the bull, man, what are you doing with your life?
Mookie, Hams, Genesee, Schlitz. Rank them.
Like right now in my
Yeah.
life, or if
Yeah,
I'm, like,
right now.
living in a cardboard box under a bridge.
Right now, you go to a restaurant. That's all they got is Hams, Genesee, and Schlitz.
That is a great restaurant.
All right, so
Cannot wait to eat those rib
the
tips.
setting is coronavirus has depleted all of the rest of the beer supply. It's the end of the world. All of the great beers are all gone, and that's all that's left is Hams, Genesee, and Schlitz.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off with the Schlitz to get a nice high buzz quick. Then I'm gonna go to my Hams to kind of ride that over time, and then when it comes to it, Genesee for that final kill shot to put me out of my misery.
I like the thinking. John, rate them.
Mm-hmm.
I've only had hams, so I'd have to have hams number one.
Okay, so you haven't even had Schlitz
all right.
And
No.
Jess?
I got a rating system for you there, Cowboy. Mike Berlon.
Yeah.
Forget rating them 1 through 3. Let's go with shotgun, beer pong, and then just chilling out of the party in your solo cup. How are you putting them?
All right. I'm
Which
shotgunning
one are you
Schlitz.
shotgunning?
I'm
Which one are you
shotgunning
playing with
Schlitz to
beer
get it
pong?
over with. I am gonna play beer pong with Hams, and then chilling out in the hammock with some Genesee.
Yeah, that's wrong.
All right.
That's wrong.
No,
What?
it's wrong. Shotgun the Genesee. You beer pong the Schlitz because you're going to need that pick me up. I mean, that's basically a PED for drinking games. And then you hang out with the Hams.
By that point. Why not?
Moving on.
All right.
That's
Go
actually
ahead,
a good
Thomas.
rating
What you
system.
got?
Shotgun, beer
No, that's
pong, and
brilliant.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's why Chris America is the man.
Yeah.
That's way better than Mary F.
just-
Kill.
You just
I got a bone to pick with you guys from last week's show.
Okay. All right. Let's open it up.
Was
Let's-
everybody on last week's show married? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay, because everybody was like, "What would you do to get Tom Brady to get your number 12 jersey?" I'm like, "How is nobody saying one night with Giselle?" You're like, "I want to go through his phone and get a picture." And I'm like, "No, I would be boning Giselle. That's what it takes, Tom. Is you got to give me one night with Giselle."
And I said a picture with Giselle. Take a picture
I'm like, these guys
No.
must be married and their wives are listening. I'll say it as a single guy for you guys. Tommy boy, if you want that number 12, you got to give me 12 hours with your girl.
Ooh, okay, so are these 12 consecutive hours, or can you like pick half hours, 15? Like, what is the window?
I
of
don't know. I
redeemable
mean, now
time?
you're
Mr.
negotiating,
Cheapo
man. You should run for president with those kind of negotiation skills.
Right.
This is
Like,
between you and Tom and Giselle. Like,
and I can ever do whatever I want that time too, right? I could book 15 minutes for her to wash my car, you know.
right. I
and,
mean,
like,
yeah, I
tips and
mean,
stuff.
you'll have that first 30 seconds, and then you got 11 hours, 59 minutes, and 30 seconds to kill with the rest of the time. So,
I mean, think about it this way: 12 hours times math, that's basically like 8.5 million lays. So how
Yeah.
do we put that to use in a better way?
I mean, she seems flexible. I feel like Giselle can. There's
you-
a lot more. She's probably an onion. There's a lot of layers to that onion.
Is it like the buddy pass where it's non-transferable? 'Cause imagine if you
Ah.
pulled over. So we should probably switch topics.
And now what? Are you trying to get the whole wide receiver core to run the train on Giselle?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if I get pulled over in a situation.
Robert Taylor definitely pointing out here their wives don't care about the show, and that's a very good point, Robert Taylor. Thank you for bringing that to everybody's attention.
Yeah.
All right, since we are talking some NFL, let's talk about this draft because, good Lord, man, it's gonna be a train wreck. Like we've seen now that all of this quarantine has happened, we've seen everything go online. Schools are going online, meetings for work are online, and it's always a mess. Nobody knows what they're doing. Cameras are jacked up. Nothing's working right. But the NFL thinks they've got to figure it out, and they're going virtual this year for the draft. Team execs are legit worried that their Zoom meetings are going to get hacked and info about the discussions are going to be leaked. So, Chris America, let's start with you. If you were able to hack a Zoom meeting, which team's War Zoom are you going to hack, and what are you going to do with that info?
I think I would have to hack up the Dolphins and the Bengals. I want to get in on these trade talks and just start messing with them, just kind of like giving out misleading information, all that kind of stuff. I don't know, man. It's got to be you got to be hacking into something juicy. I don't want to be hacking into like I don't know the New England Patriots where they're like, oh, we're just gonna trade down our pick.
You don't want the Chiefs where it's like, who cares? We're 32. We don't really care.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Like I don't want the Redskins. Like we know they're going after homeboy from Ohio State. Can't think of his name right now.
Haskins?
They're going to
Dwayne Haskins?
Haskins again. Yeah.
No,
that
the
guy.
linebacker,
Oh,
Chase Young?
Oh,
Chase Young.
Chase
Yeah.
Young. Yeah. Damn, have we forgot football?
Dude, we have.
Yeah.
It's slipping. Ed's saying the Bengals are going to hire an IT team off Craigslist. They worked for Joe Exotic.
Now that's that's a Zoom I would hack in. It would be like Joe Exotic's Zoom
I would
meeting
love
from prison.
I would love
Inspired
that
Walmart.
dude to. Can you imagine that guy just announcing the draft pick for the Bengals, where he's like, "All right, this,
Oh boy,
he
he's
ain't that
gotta
game,
have a Bengal tag with him, right?
right?" Yeah, he'd have a tiger with them.
Has to.
John, whose draft Zoom are you hacking, and what are you gonna do with it?
I'm going to do a spin zone off Chris America's No New England Patriots. I feel like they're cheating behind the scenes anyway, so might as well catch this upcoming season's cheating scandal and get ahead of it, and just expose them for what they are, cheaters.
So you want to see them cheating?
Fan of it too.
You want to
Is
cheat
it-
to catch them cheating? I like it.
Yes. Also, I think people might think that Kansas City Chiefs got hacked, but what really happened was Andy Reid was eating barbecue, and a little bit of sauce got on the keyboard, and screen went black. I'm just foreseeing it right now.
Mookie,
Wait a minute. You think they've got Andy Reid
how
that close to
often-
a keyboard? I mean, come on. They have to know about his barbecue
He had the
sauce.
barbecue sandwich in his hand, just flopping it around like, hey, I don't know, pick this guy.
How
Right,
often do
that's
you
why I
think?
said the other side of the room.
This is also the same guy who ordered 3 steaks in one sitting. This guy knows his food.
How often do you think the Uber Eats guy is at Andy Reid's house during this quarantine thing?
He's probably got him on speed dial. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got one of those dumbwaiter things where he just like rolls it out to the place, then like pulls the rope and brings it back. Like there's just a constant stream. Like,
Yeah,
let's
I'm sure he
be
just gives the Uber Eats guy like $100 and like, I'm just gonna put you on reserve for the day. So just
no.
whenever I text.
When this show was popping off, Andy Reid straight up went to his favorite, closest to his house barbecue joint and was like, "I'm buying you, and you're gonna keep doing exactly what you're doing, but you're just gonna serve me barbecue, and so therefore there's no cross contamination." So he's got it in his pocket.
he's literally got ribs in his pocket. Yes,
Literally got them ribs in his pocket. That's how he's getting his barbecue.
Never know when you need one.
Mookie, I got a pocket rib here. Mookie, who are you? Whose Zoom are you hacking into, and why?
I would honestly, I mean, since the hacking is so hard, I would go around the horn, all 32 teams, because I want to know which general manager's dumbass is going to play around with the potato face, whatever, and then get stuck as the potato for the entire draft. And so he's calling it his picks to the other 31 teams, and he's like talking potato, and they're like that's the Vikings at it again. You know what I mean?
that
For
would
Mike
be-
Farrell in the Seahawks, he would be the potato.
Who
Like,
would
that's what I want to
be
know.
the guy?
What's that,
I
John?
feel like I don't know who it would be. I'm trying to think it would be like a team that really needs the PR. It would be the Jets.
You think Adam
Maybe,
Gase is?
It'd be Adam Gase and the Jets. Yeah, that clown.
After he does a line of coke, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I would just want to watch any of these because if anybody who's talked to their parents via FaceTime during this has seen exactly what any old person does when they're faced with a front-facing camera, where you're just going to see from like their eyes up to the ceiling, and it's just going to be them going, is this working? I don't know. I can't see myself. Am I supposed to see myself? And they're like, I know, just get the pick in. Come on, time's running up. Yeah, but I don't, is it, hello? I don't, it's basically going to be that episode of The Office when Michael Scott, with the stream cuts to Michael
around.
Scott. Yeah.
Yeah. What I want to know is, actually, we're missing the lead here. The important thing is they're using video conferencing. They're so far advanced that they're using video conferencing, unlike the NCAA, who still faxes shit around.
But wait
That's
a second.
impressive in and of itself.
Hang on, fellas. I don't know if you heard about this or not. Nick Saban is now doing Zoom visits with recruits, and he's also got his own email now. Nick Saban
man,
finally has an email.
Is he finally on Snapface?
I want to amend my answer. I want to hack Nick Saban Zooms. I want to hear about that.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Nick
Nick Saban would motivate me to go out and change the world.
Nick Saban's Zooms have to be that's got to be the epitome of the worst thing that we could see with technology, period.
Could you imagine now that you're talking about hacking Zooms from the NFL, hacking it now I kind of want to hack into New England just to see Nick Saban and Bill Belichick talk about a player together, like just both mumbling at each other in this monotone, boring voice, and like one of the other men being like, "Can you please stop shouting, Nick? I'm just trying to."
There's no reason to get excited.
Bill, I've never heard you this worked up before. Relax. It's just a pick.
I know you're finally getting a first round pick, but calm down there, Nick.
And then they just tell each other a joke, and it's just like, haha. And then they move on to something.
Did you ever watch? You guys seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yes.
Every time Captain Holt would tell a joke, and just how like plain and mundane it was. Like that's how the Nick and Bill conversation would go. And now that I think of it, now they need like Nick and Bill go to White Castle movie.
Yeah. That would be good.
Actually, how about just Nick and Bill go nowhere but talk for a while?
Just as long as they don't do it in a barber shop.
We
We wouldn't
throw
want
Mike
LeBron James getting
Leach into
upset.
that group
Oh,
too?
no. Yeah, we don't want to get sued by LeBron.
John mentioned Mike Leach. Let's talk about Mike Leach for a second, because apparently this week was the week for terrible COVID-19 takes from college coaches named Mike. So we'll start with Mike Leach first. Mike Leach, the new head coach of Mississippi State, tweeted out it was a cartoon of an old lady knitting a noose, and the caption on the cartoon was, "After 2 weeks of quarantine with her husband, Gertrude decided to knit him a scarf." Not really the best thing to tweet if you're the head coach of an institution in fucking Mississippi. Like, there's a history there.
Noose jokes go over like a lead balloon down here in the South.
Right. Really, yeah. Look at the realization that just hit Drew. Like, he was just like, this is bad enough as it is. But then you realize, oh my God, you're in Mississippi, dude. You can't do something like that.
It was that part.
Yeah.
I just imagine him raising up for a high five after he told a friend that joke, and then he's like, dude, don't leave me hanging.
Oh.
The first one of the night. Chris America bringing the heat. Well, that tweet.
Did we all drink on that?
Yeah, I think we all need to drink
yeah,
after
that
one. How long were you sitting on that one, Chris America?
Just came to me, man. I'm a dad. Like,
that's impressive. Well, Leach deleted the tweet, but it didn't matter. It still cost him a player. Defensive lineman actually went into the transfer portal after the tweet, and it led the AD to issue an apology, highlighting the grim
when
history.
the AD gets roped into things like that.
Yeah, when the AD has to actually work, it's ridiculous. But
Mike, did you not think that out?
What's that?
The AD gets roped into things.
God damn it, I missed it. That went over my head. Son of
I feel like we got to do two now.
Yeah, sorry.
Because the best part is you can see Chris too. You can see Chris kind of sly like, oh, I got him.
You totally got me.
Got him.
I feel like I need to do a shot of Hypno for that one. Like, I owe a punishment for missing that. I will do a shot of Hypno here in a minute to make up for missing that. I apologize, Chris America. It was a well-played joke, and I'm sorry I missed it.
Yeah, Mike, just don't kill yourself over it.
Next up was Mike Gundy, the mullet-wearing psychopath from Oklahoma State. During a teleconference this week, Gundy said that he wants players back at practice on May 1st, saying, quote, "They are 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-olds, and they are healthy, and they have the ability to fight this virus off. If that is true, then we sequester them, and we continue because we need to run money through the state of Oklahoma." Just not even covering it up anymore. He's just like, fuck it, we need money, man. So these kids better get their asses back to practice. So I ask you, gentlemen, which Mike had the worst take this week and why? John, let's start with you.
Oh, lucky me. I'd have to say Mike Leach.
Worst take, yeah.
It has to be. It sucks that, I mean, when you're in that position, you cannot tweet that kind of stuff. But that's kind of like Mike Leach. He's just a goofy, weird dude. To where, I mean, it's just bad. But looking up Mike Leach, I kind of remembered him during the Holiday Bowl against Michigan State. And they're having a press conference, and Mark D'Antonio was answering questions. And Mike Leach took off his coffee lid and was blowing on his coffee the whole time. So, I mean, this dude is just full of goofy shit.
He's a psychopath. is what he
is.
is.
I mean, pretty much a player leaving, and like you said, in Mississippi. I mean, you had to see that coming. Like that's not very good.
Mookie, it sounds like you agree.
Your program.
Yeah. So I gotta be honest. Like I did actually read these show notes this time around.
What?
I know, right? Yeah.
First timer.
I felt like I had to this week because I had like the sports I've been in well, I don't want to admit what it is, but it's fine. It did not hit me until literally like 2 minutes ago, the issue with Mike Leach's comment, because all I saw was the note about it. Because I read an article on ESPN or whatever, an app alert about it like a week ago or whenever it happened. I was like, oh yeah, I mean, like that makes complete sense. My wife's ready to murder me. Like, totally get it. Forgetting about what context is and why it's important, kids. Okay, so take notes at home. Now that I realize that, it's still a really simple decision, except just like in the opposite way. Because I was going to say that Gundy had the worst take until like it literally snapped in my head about the context of where he was when he said it. Was like, oh no, that's terrible. No, that is not okay. Honestly, I was going to say that the AD better be ready to like get. This is just practice because he's going to have to apologize for Leach all the time. But thinking about it more now, this could have cost dude his job. And honestly, I wouldn't, it may not be a wrong call to fire him for something like that with all the background and history of it. That shit is terrible. So Mike Leach, 10 times over, has the worst take here.
It's his first year too, right?
Yeah,
he hasn't coached a game yet.
He has not coached a game yet.
Yeah, isn't it shit? They haven't even had practice.
Talking about practice.
Chris America, are you on this Mike Leach bandwagon?
I would agree with the fact that he would be fired if this wasn't during a like coronavirus season where nobody's really paying attention to Mike Leach in America right now. If there was no coronavirus and he just tweeted out this joke, oh yeah, like especially right now when there's absolutely nothing going on at all, we would have really blown this up. But to be honest with you, I didn't hear anything about it until you just mentioned it. So
really,
it's been like, my corona all day, every day is what America is focused on. And I was kind of thinking about this too today, and we can talk about it later, but just about how like the Astros kind of lucked out that this whole coronavirus thing has totally dominated the news cycle, that when we come back, we're going to be more focused on the fact that, hey, baseball's back than the fact that, what it would have been had there been no major pandemic. But back to the original question at hand. Sorry, I kind of ADHD my way down a tunnel there to the Astros.
That's what this show is. I dig it. Please continue to do that.
That's the point, man. Yeah, let's do this.
I will say this. It's definitely really, really bad with Mike Leach. Context and who you are and where you're at means a lot. But I can also say that, like, if Daniel Tosh or Dave Chappelle said the joke, we'd be like, okay, that's fine. But if Daniel Tosh or Dave Chappelle said the same thing that Mike Gundy is saying, where it's like, oh, who cares? Like, these kids are young. Like, I don't care about their health or safety and everything else. That to me is like, all right, there's one thing to have a piss poor joke. There's another thing where you just don't give an S about your kids. And you're just basically saying, like, he basically came out and said, we need to worry about the Oklahoma economy and Oklahoma State football is blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, relax. Like, Oklahoma should be worried more about their casinos than Oklahoma State football when it comes to their economy, first of all.
That's true.
And second of all, like, they're not even supposed to be at practice right now. If there was no coronavirus, spring would have ended and it would just be volunteer workouts and stuff. I believe they can't do mandatory workouts until, like, late July, if I'm not mistaken. So what difference would it make with or without the coronavirus right now for his team, other than they just missed spring practice?
I think that's what it comes down to.
Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, man. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I feel like the players want to be there too. So maybe he's speaking on behalf of them, but then throws in the economy.
Right.
As an ipso facto.
Well, no, see, that's what it is for me. Like, his statements are so immediately dumb to begin with. When you say, oh, they're 18, 19, 20, 21, they can fight it off. Like, no, you're clearly an idiot. That's not what anyone is saying with all this shit. Like, it ain't about fighting it off. It's just about being susceptible. So, like, once I heard that, I was like, yeah, you an idiot. Cool, whatever. You live in Oklahoma. Football's king. We get it. You're never going to beat OU, and neither one of you is ever going to win a national title, but we understand why you're saying these things. So I kind of discounted everything after that. because like we said, we got to get that money moving through Oklahoma. I could also see that. I could see him saying it's like a booster group or something too, to be like, yeah, we're gonna roll damn tide through Oklahoma. I mean, we're gonna move that money through Oklahoma because what does OK State say, right? Hook 'em Cowboys or something, or sorry,
Yeah,
that's a school with titles right there, right?
Mike, go ahead. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
I think you guys make a solid point. I think both of these takes are absolutely ridiculous. But I think Chris America hit the nail on the head. If Mike Leach's had come out any other time besides right now, he would have been absolutely skewered for it. The thing that I'm just most blown away by is that we finally, for the first time, like we've all known that college football only cares about the money and they don't care about the players, and these guys are just indispensable to them, and who cares? It's just a body underneath a number. But to actually have a Power 5 coach come out and admit that is insane to me. Like, he flat out said it. It's on the record that he doesn't give a shit about his players. They should be healthy enough. It doesn't matter. Like, he doesn't care about anybody except getting money through the state. Blows me away, and I hope that players can capitalize on that type of, like, that phrase is going to come back to haunt the NCAA.
And I don't know if he was aware of this or not, but like, he said this today, right? Or was it yesterday?
It was sometime this week. Days have blended together. I have no idea what year it is anymore.
So I heard about it today, so I don't know when he said it, but he said it right around the same time that a study is coming out. We're finally, figuring out who's getting the corona, who's more susceptible to fatality for it, and we're finding that there's a higher rate of African-American males that are dying from this. And so for you to come out and say, my team full of African-American males are healthy enough to do this, while the news is saying, African-American males of all ages, they're for whatever reason, we can't figure it out yet, but they're dying at a higher rate than anybody else. Like, it's poor timing. Just like with the hanging noose thing. It's all about context, timing, where you're at in the world, and everything else.
Chris America bringing the heat on that one.
I was gonna say
it was a well thought out take. This is well too prepared for the show.
To be on this show. And I might read, you may be able to read at too high of a level here.
When you're on a job where you can listen to talk radio all day, you get lots of information.
Yeah. I have
way
a buddy
too
who's
much
a mail
information.
maker. The podcast game is good. Like, you could crush an entire season of Serial in like one day. That's got to be amazing.
I did.
So
I was
so
all
have
about
you
Adnan, and then I was all about the Cleveland
Oh yeah,
the
justice system
there. Yeah, that's messed up. So have you listened to Tiger King yet? Because that's all.
I watched the first 2 episodes. I need to get back on it. Watching TV is a lot harder for me than watching or listening to sports and everything. So
I didn't realize there was a Tiger King podcast.
Oh, there's a Tiger King podcast?
No, I made that shit up.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, thank you for
That's your podcast, right?
All anyone wants to talk about, if you're consuming media, all I need to hear is, have you watched Tiger King yet?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. Sorry. Like, I ain't got time for that. I got time for a lot of other shit, but not that.
A good majority of America is just sitting at home. That's all they have to do, man.
Shit there's to watch than Tiger King. Have y'all checked out Love Island lately? I mean, that's just on point.
What about Blind Love or whatever it's called?
I've heard that's okay. It's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, like, let's be honest. Like, you could fall in love with someone's soul, but if you ain't want to get it on with them, then what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not talking about procreate. I'm just trying to, get it wet a little bit. Like,
right.
What do we do?
You know what we call really good friends or really good people you love but don't have any sexual attraction to? We call them friends. And there's nothing wrong with that.
All right, let's pay some bills here real quick. Let's thank our sponsor, More Labs. If you guys,
I thought we paused bills. I thought the Corona put pause on bills. Someone told me I don't have to pay my water anymore. Is that not true?
I don't know about that. Joel asking what we think about MLB's plan to play games in Arizona. Joel, we are going to talk about that here in 1 second. First off, we want to thank More Labs. More Labs, great friends of the show. We really appreciate them. If you guys are drinking as much as I am during your quarantine, you are going to want to hit up morelabs.com. Use the code SPORTS and you're going to get 20% off your order. They actually just announced a new product, the Life Hack Pack. It comes with 2 morning recoveries, 2 of their Dream Well, which is like a product that helps you sleep better, and then 2 of their Liquid Focus, which is, it gives you energy, helps you focus without the crash. You can get all of that 20% off using the code SPORTS at morelabs.com right now. They are miracle drugs. I can't tell you how much this stuff has gotten me through, because I just pound bourbon at night to try to help myself fall asleep, and I can wake up in the morning and still function and deal with my kids, and it's a great time. So if you need to do the same, head on over to morelabs.com, use the code SPORTS, and get 20% off your entire order.
And if you don't want to wait for the delivery, you can go to our other sponsors. Like, you can get these More Labs at Woolworths, Circuit City, and Blockbuster.
God damn it, Chris. That's not cool, dude. I got excited. Like, I honestly thought there was somewhere I could go to get these things quicker than waiting for them in the mail, which, by the way, isn't terrible because they usually get here in about 7 days.
Yeah. No, I tried ordering toilet paper on Amazon, dude. It was like May 15th. Was like the expected delivery date.
We're still waiting on We're still waiting on a
Kroger's
microphone from Drew
right now. That's all I'm saying. Whatever, it's fine. Amazon.
I still want to know like what was behind that. Who was like, wait, shit? There's an upper respiratory violence, dude. We need to get toilet paper. Like, stat. Start loading up the cart.
Although, think about it this way. Think about how many shits you take at work that now you got to deal with at home. So there may be a bit of a reality to it, but
yeah, maybe.
I don't know. That's why I wipe. Wipes are better.
Just jump in the shower though. Just give it the old.
That's a good idea.
French wash.
Chris America.
Yeah. No.
So
I ain't stopping shit down my drain.
I was gonna say what we've learned is the Chris America waffle stomps. That's what we've learned here.
That's what that is right there.
All right, so Joel brings up
Arizona.
Joel brings up MLB's plan to play games in Arizona. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but this was talked about by Jeff Passan this week. He was saying that basically they're floating the idea. Nothing has been decided, but they're floating the idea of starting up in May in Arizona at the spring training facilities. There's going to be some unique rules that go along with it. So number one, they're talking about 7-inning doubleheaders. Thank you very much. You're welcome, MLB, for the idea right here on Craft Brewed Sports. They're talking about doing
Joe.
I will fucking kill you, Drew.
Ooh, hit the Danny DeVito.
It's not Danny DeVito.
I know, but I can't remember the guy's name, so I'm just going to call it Danny DeVito.
It's Joe Pesci. It's Samuel L. Jackson and Joe Pesci. So anyways, they're saying 7-inning games. They're saying going with an automatic strike zone so that the umpire doesn't have to stand close to the catcher to call balls and strikes. They're saying no mound visits. They're saying that players will not sit in the dugout. Instead, they'll sit in the empty stands, the recommended 6 feet apart. So that way there's social distancing going on while they're in the dugout for half the game. And then there was a couple other rules that I think were thrown out too that are kind of bizarre and a little strange to think about. What do you guys think about MLB starting back up in May under these type of conditions? Are we that starved for sports right now that we would be willing to accept watching baseball in empty stadiums with kind of strange rules like that just to get our fix? Mookie, what do you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because let me tell you what, man. I've been crushing that Nicaraguan soccer on YouTube lately. And sportsbooks still take that action. So, yeah. I mean, the whole sitting in the stands thing is so goddamn stupid, but whatever. Like, I appreciate we're trying to be creative here. I appreciate we're still trying to be safe. But, like, you can sit in the stand 6 feet apart or whatever, but are you guys all going to be in the same locker room? Like, I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. I don't care. I'll watch sports. I don't want anyone to die. I don't want to necessarily risk their life. But if they honestly think that this is something that can happen, yes, please, God. I'm tired of betting on marbles.
John, are you ready to accept this weird baseball if it comes up in May?
I mean, if that's what it takes to see some baseball being played or any sports for that matter. But yeah, so like, do 8 teams share a home field and you just alternate who's the home team? And I also heard that you're going to be in the same like dormitory kind of thing with everybody.
Yeah, there's
where at that point, like what Mookie said, what's the difference between being in a locker room or being a roommate with somebody or, you know, I mean, you're going to see these people all the time anyway. And then also I've heard that, you know, some people are going to be staying away from their families for, 2-4 weeks.
Right.
So is that a case too? But if players are into it, I mean, that's the main thing. If players want to do it, they'll make it work. And I'm down to just watch some damn sports, man. I'm getting tired of not seeing anything.
I'm over esports, man. I don't give a shit, okay? Like, God, if I get one more goddamn app alert for a fucking Fortnite tournament, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind.
Don't worry, you got NBA horse to look forward to. Chris America, are you excited about baseball in an empty stadium?
I don't know about the empty stadium part, but listen, as just a casual baseball fan, it took a damn global pandemic to finally give casual baseball fans what we've been asking for like my whole entire life. A shorter season, a shorter game, no mound visits, an automatic strike zone with no umpire guessing if it's a strike or a ball. This is what we casual fans have been bitching and moaning to you purists about for ages, and now it took a global pandemic to get it for us, and I hope it stays. Just like, you know how they're talking about how, people are going to get used to working from home, and so working from home is going to become the new normal. I hope 7-inning, no mound visit, baseball, shortened season is the new norm.
I would be on board with it. I would be on board with that. I'm totally fine with a shortened season, 7-inning doubleheaders, because those were all ideas that I said last year would be a way to fix baseball. So I'm cool with all of that. The no mound visits is a little, that's gonna take some getting used to. But I can deal.
Who cares? You can signal everything.
No, you can't. The Astros are always
bang
watching.
on a trash can.
Well, you just yell at the dugout because there's no one there.
Right?
Also, no. Also, the reason the whole dugout stuff doesn't matter is, think about this, right? At some point during the season, 2, 3, 7 games in, some dude's going to rock a massive dinger slinger, and some pitcher's going to get butthurt about it. So you give some dude chin music, and next thing you know, we're all doing sissy slaps together, but everyone's huddled around in 10 feet. So, let's just stop pretending like these baseball players are going to be able to stay away from grabbing each other's nuts and let them play the game as normally played, right? There's going to be some dust up between teams because someone disrespected someone else because they can't throw a good slider, down and away.
This also this brings up a point too, that if we're going to go through this effort of keeping these guys separate and you're not allowed to sit next to them in the dugout, this is the same sport where a pitcher will lick his hand, touch the ball, and then that ball gets hit, and then the fielder picks it up with his bare hand and throws it to another guy who then picks it with his bare hand and throws it to somebody else. Baseball is disgusting. There's no reason. I get, okay, go ahead and sequester them, but there's no need to put them in the stands away from each other in the dugouts. That sounds bizarre.
Do you think the ball spins fast enough to spin the corona off? Is that what it is? Is that
the exit velocity, if it reaches, I think, 80, I think the coronavirus does disperse from the ball. I think you're right. You're on to
John, I want nothing more than for you to rip down that UC flag right now, grab out a marker, and start whiteboarding out for us the equations, how you came up with 80 miles an hour.
I don't want to Goodwill hunt your ass, so.
I know you've got it in you, man. I know you got this.
Chris America, we had a question from one of our listeners here. They said NHL Stanley Cup playoffs were supposed to start today. Chris, in what embarrassing way was the Tampa Bay Lightning going to get eliminated this year? Do you care to respond?
We're moving on to Cincinnati.
Jenny knows her sport. I've seen her dropping all kinds of stuff. I respect that she understands too that Tampa Bay is always going to embarrass themselves after putting up 100 points a season.
Out of respect for our guest, I will move on. Since we are
wanted to go back to baseball though, can we sneak into the Arizona field, and when the Astro players go up to bat, we can play this song right here?
Banging on a trash can, drumming on a street light.
Some good old Doug Funny.
I don't know.
Say yes from Doug.
We don't have the rights to the Beats music, man. We're gonna be in trouble. The Beats are gonna come after us.
Man, bring me your cease and desist order. I dare you, Nickelodeon.
Killer Tofu.
Childhood dreams come true. Getting sued by Nickelodeon.
I've been on a Nickelodeon studio tour in Orlando. They don't scare me.
You get some slime?
Oh hell yeah, man! It tastes like pudding.
Does it really?
Yeah, I actually saw a filming of Clarissa Explains It All when I was walking through. It was kind of cool.
She was hot, right?
Oh yeah, she was.
All right, cool.
Cool.
You were just,
You gotta love
Oh,
the
okay,
parents
cool.
that just allow some dude to just like climb up through her window every night and they don't ask
Right?
questions.
Like, how is that not like we? Even as a kid, I was like, this is cool. Like this, you can just do this.
Like you just do this, you just go into some
That's how
chick's
it
bedroom,
works,
like
right?
no questions asked.
And you read her diary together. Like, all right,
Yeah.
cool. That's how love is. Nice.
I guess if you have a pet alligator perched underneath that window, you feel a lot safer. Like, it's okay. Go ahead, climb in. I dare you. See what happens. I got a freaking alligator sitting here. Clarissa's parents were effed, man. Also, her brother in real life, Ferguson, really went to Notre Dame. Just throwing that out there. He was a Notre Dame guy.
Go ahead.
Since we're talking some baseball, kind of, let's get into our conspiracy theory for this week, because this was one that I definitely want to break down with you fellas. So let's talk craft breed sports conspiracy theory. This week's theory is Curt Schilling's bloody sock ? So here's the theory. In 2004, the Boston Red Sox were all but eliminated by the New York Yankees in the ALCS. No team had come back from being down 3-0, but the Red Sox won 2 in a row, and in Game 6, Curt Schilling took the mound. After just having ankle surgery to repair a torn tendon, Schilling was lights out, going 7 innings of 4-hit, 1-run ball to help the Sox win at Yankee Stadium and force Game 7. Throughout the game, Fox kept going back to Schilling's ankle, showing blood oozing onto his sock. Some think this may have been all theatrics. If he pitched well, a bloody sock would make Schilling look like a hero. If he didn't, a bloody sock and ankle surgery is all the excuse he needed to pardon it. So, gentlemen, let's look at the facts on this conspiracy theory. In Game 1 of the ALDS against the Angels, a game that the Sox won 9-3, Schilling wasn't exactly lights out. He threw 107 pitches in 6 2/3 innings, giving up 9 hits and 3 runs, including 2 home runs. So he does have some need to, like, hey, look, I was hurt. I had the surgery. I'm still hurt. I don't know if, I'm blaming it on all this. Schilling's ankle was still bothering him in Game 2 of the World Series, a game that Schilling said he wasn't sure he could even play in, and the bloody sock made a return despite the fact that he went 6 innings of 4-hit, 1-run ball again. Schilling has a history of really liking conspiracy theories. I don't know if you followed him on Twitter at all, but he has shared QAnon theories on his Facebook page and Twitter since retiring. And the smoking gun, according to Joe Buck's book about the 2001 World Series, Schilling always wanted to be a hero. He went 7 innings in Game 4 of that World Series, a game that the Diamondbacks would lose after a blown save. Fox showed video of Schilling pleading with his manager Bob Brenly to go back out for the 8th, but Brenly wouldn't budge. According to Buck, Schilling told his catcher after the 7th that he was out of gas and that whatever happens, this is my last inning. Don't let him put me back in there. But the 2001 World Series was the first where managers were wearing microphones, and Schilling, having noticed Brenly's mic, figured it was his chance to look like a hero and staged his plead to stay in the game. Gentlemen, Curt Schilling's bloody sock, real or fake? Chris America, let's go to you first.
Can I say it's one of the most overrated sports stories of all time? Like, oh my God, his ankle's bleeding. What a hero, man! I've seen my boy Ric Flair with his entire blonde hair dyed red from his blood and wrestle like the champ that he is, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. And you're telling me you got a little cut on your ankle and your sock is a little, like, it wasn't even like it was like gushing out like a Quentin Tarantino movie, man. It was just like there was some red stuff on his sock. Blood, not blood. I don't care. It's the most overrated story. Boston sucks.
John, do you believe the tale of Curt Schilling's bloody sock?
Well, I got a question too. I don't recall the surgery that well. Was he supposed to play? Or did the doctors recommend he didn't play?
Up in the air.
It's baseball.
Up in the air.
Come on.
It was
He would play though. So I kind of feel like it's blown out proportion anyway of him playing all that surgery.
Agreed.
He's able to play two games after that surgery. And what was it? A few days after?
Yeah, it was like it was between game. What was that? Game 2 of the ALCS, game 1 of the ALCS, and then game 4 of the. Game 1 of the ALDS and game 4 of the ALCS.
Okay.
Game 6, excuse me. I'm all messed up here, man. Sorry.
I don't know.
It's not coffee time, Mike. It's drinking time.
only 2 hours. I don't know. I feel like he didn't bleed that much. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that could have been a blister. That could have been I don't believe it. No.
You're saying it's faked. Mookie, is the
I
blood
would say
faked or
a
not?
little bit. I think it's blown out of proportion.
Some tells me there's like female soccer players that are like, dude, I have that happen to me once a month playing sports, and this guy wants to act like he's a hero.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, I mean, he does something very few people can do: throw a ball from a stationary point to another stationary point, and he does it a couple times, and then he sits down on his fat ass for like 5 days, and then he does it again a couple times. Like, no, there's no conspiracy theory here. He pulled a Ric Flair. He went in the clubhouse, razor bladed his ankle up a little bit, and it was like, oh, look, I'm bleeding.
Oh, so your theory is it was real blood, but he did it to himself. It wasn't like
No,
it wasn't inflicted by the
fair,
injury.
It's probably more an Andy Reid situation, where it's like barbecue sauce or like ketchup. Because he was eating some fries before he had to go out for the first inning, and he got on his uniform. Was like, shit. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
I'm onto
Wait
something
a
here.
minute here. Yeah. There was some red in his sock. It's Curt Schilling. Who cares? I mean, yeah. The guy's all baseball players are babies. Fight me.
You know
I mean,
what?
whatever.
How funny would it be if it was like the spilt ketchup? He had no idea it was on his sock the whole entire game, and then he's like asked about it afterwards because everybody made a big deal about it. He's like, wait, what? And he looks down and he's like,
Well, this-
yeah, totally blood.
This-
Yeah.
This is embarrassing.
Not
forgot
ketchup at all.
about
I don't put ketchup on my macaroni and cheese if that's what you're
I
asking.
don't do any nightshades. TB12.
Right.
All right.
His character doesn't help him either. So I mean, his resume is pretty bad as it is.
That's what gets me is like afterwards that he became this big conspiracy theory guy. It's like, well, wait a second, that's a red flag for me, man. Maybe you did plant this as just a way to give yourself an excuse just in case you did
Hey.
throw bad.
Hey, now, cut him some slack. The guy's got a lot of free time. You know, he's got to do something with the other 50 years of his life left after sports or whatever. He's got all the money in the world. He's got to do something with it. I mean, not everyone's as handy as my boy Jay Cutler, you know, raising chickens, making eggs, raising kids and all that. He did
Somehow
time,
getting
right?
the hot,
So that's just
sensible
conspiracy
chick from
theory.
the OC.
Or
Bonus
did she get him?
bonus
Man, if she did, she made a poor choice.
Oh, no.
Like if she was in
This-
Indiana Jones,
this sounds
they would've
like
been
a man.
You chose poorly.
This sounds like a man who hasn't watched very Cavalier. Chris, do yourself some favors. Come over to the church, Cutler. We'll talk.
Bonus points for whoever can tell me replaced Curt Schilling in that game, in the Bloody Sock game. John, don't Google it. Anybody know who replaced him?
David.
Mike, you already know?
Yes, I do already know.
All right.
Hideo Nomo.
No. Chris America,
Damn.
do you have a guess?
I'm trying to think of the manager's name, Don something.
No, it wasn't.
Hold on, I'm gonna get it.
Do you know, John?
I'm going to guess like it wasn't a true reliever.
It was not a
Almost like
true
maybe
reliever.
Was Pedro on this team?
I don't know. I don't remember Pedro was on the team. But no, it
was
was
it
not
Lou
Pedro.
Piniella is who I was thinking of.
Start.
Lou Piniella. It was none other than Craft Brewed Sports favorite Bronson Arroyo.
No way.
Bronson Arroyo and his dreadlocks came in the 8th inning, and that's when it was the infamous slap out of his hands when A-Rod slapped the ball out of his hands and caused a kerfuffle in the 8th. Yeah, Bronson Arroyo replaced Curt
about
Schilling in the
slap?
Bloody Sock game.
We're gonna A-Rod.
Bronson.
How much would have Brett though? Bronson right now is just chilling out on a boat somewhere with his guitar, just basking and riding this shit out.
He's
like it's
loving
your
it.
boss.
Bronson is like, this is life, man. This is life. Although he does
Yeah,
like
he's
to
prob-
throw parties and just
He's
have
probably
random
written
people come
some
over.
albums by now.
He's like, I convinced MLB teams to pay me for 10 years. He's like, how did I do this? I'm living the life right now. I'm a musician first, baseball player second anyway. So
I almost called him to try to get him to pop on and give his take on Curt Schilling's Bloody Sock. I may still do that. I may reach out to him and be like,
he
hey,
seems
man.
like a really cool dude.
Wait, what? why didn't you? Literally, what stopped you? What better things do you have to do with your time right now?
I could tell you off air what stopped me about that. I'll tell you about it after the show.
Ooh. And if you want to find out why Mike didn't call him, subscribe to Crash
Please
Boots
subscribe, yes.
Premium. The low price of $5 a month.
Well, let's thank another sponsor. The ridiculous conspiracy theories that we talk about here are brought to you by MyBookie. Craft Brewed Sports is brought to you by MyBookie. Use the promo code 12ounce sports, get 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Be sure to tune into all of the gambling shows here on 12 ounce. As Mookie pointed out, you can still bet on Nicaraguan soccer and on soccer in Belarus, right? That's the other one. There's still action out there.
And I think Turkmenistan's starting off their league again, too.
Well, there you go. Put that knowledge to practice on MyBookie. Make sure to use the promo code 12ounce sports. That's 12OZ sports to get that bonus. You can find their banners and links on every page of the station's site. Oh, gentlemen, this is ridiculous.
Sherm, if he changed his phone number, you could have just said that.
No, he did not. He did not. Well, I mean, I don't know. I did not text. There's some reasons.
Why you gotta get real about it? Just lean into the joke, man. Why you gotta get real?
We've established early on in the show I'm missing all jokes. All right, nothing is working for me tonight. I'm out of it.
It's this delicious 8.5% alcohol we're drinking tonight. This amazing IPA.
Guys, can you believe it's been 26 years ago this week since Jim Everett attacked Jim Rome on his show? Do you guys remember when that happened?
Oh yeah.
So if you don't know, Rome had been regularly calling Jim Everett Chris Everett on his show, who that's a female tennis player, right? He was like making fun of him.
That was the background of the story?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
He was making fun of Jim Everett for the longest time. And then he finally got Jim Everett on the show, and he decided to call him Chris Everett to his face. And Jim Everett said, "Don't do it again." And when Rome did, Everett knocked him out of his chair.
Flip the table.
Oh, he was coming for blood too. Like he was coming with a haymaker.
My favorite
Well,
was
you got to back it up though too on national TV like that.
right when he's like, "If you're gonna do that one more time, you're probably gonna have to take a commercial break. You're gonna have to do something that warrants a commercial break."
He gave him plenty of heads up.
So, gentlemen,
Give the courtesy, yeah.
I want to know, you get to play matchmaker. You are the one that is organizing fights for Dana White's Private Island. No holds bar, anything goes, non-sanctioned, ridiculous fights. One athlete versus one analyst. What match are you going to give us? Chris America, let's go to you first.
Oh man, you went athlete versus analyst. I was going Sub-Zero versus Scorpion. Just because, I mean, this is what they're doing, right? It's a Mortal Kombat island.
Basically, yes.
Let's see. God, I would love to see like. Let me get back. Come back to me on that.
All right,
man.
Mookie.
You kind of put me on the spot.
I'm gonna take a pass.
Pass. Mookie.
Right. I will. Athlete. Okay, so I want to see, and I said this to you earlier, but and I almost feel bad about it, admitting it again, because it almost feels like the jocks picking on the nerds, but like at an adult broadcast level. I want to see someone get after Greedy, just because I feel like he would run like a friggin' child and trip over something and hurt himself even worse, and the athlete would be like, "I was just playing."
So you don't even care who. You just want somebody to get Mike Greenberg.
But I think I know who I want. And he's not truly an athlete, but he was I believe he was a college football player before he got into acting. I would love to see Terry Crews just step up, bow up, Hulk his shirt off, and then see Greeny run across the studio and like dive off of Pier 51 or wherever they record his trash morning show now. That's what I want out of my life.
It would be awesome for Terry Crews to then do the peck dance that he does after like suplexing Greeny.
Kids, I was just joking around.
Yeah, it turns out to be an Old Spice commercial.
Yes, that's perfect because then I don't feel bad about it because Greeny is like kind of in on it. Like it would be like Punk. They don't tell him up front. Yeah, but they like keep him from hurting himself too much.
John, what athlete do you want to see beat up an analyst?
I want to go with Baker Mayfield and Colin Cowherd.
Ooh, that'd be a good fight.
Ooh, that's solid. Did you see Baker Mayfield ice his wife for her birthday?
What?
No.
Yeah.
That dude's always in the news, man. He needs to cool the jets.
And you can't let a pandemic slow down your brand.
So is there a video of him icing his wife then?
So the only reason I didn't share this for show notes is because it was actually underwhelming. But he took a picture. He shared a photo of himself icing his wife previously, and sent it out for her birthday. So
Okay.
like he had iced her in the past, but like he shared it for her 29th birthday.
Yeah, when she was 14 or something, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's Oklahoma. It's legal, right?
As long as there's money going through the state, that's all that matters.
As long as there's money going through in state, you know what I mean? They got tigers walking around front yards and shit. Like, what's it matter? You know, freaking, yeah.
Chris America, do you have a take on this one?
Yeah,
yet?
actually, I do. I want to see. Number one, both of these fellows have to be drunk, like piss ass drunk, and it's going to be a ladder match. They have to drunkenly climb the ladder and get to the belt at the top, or whatever it is, the microphone. And I want to see Troy Aikman versus Skip Bayless,
Oh man,
drunk off their ass.
that'd be a good one. Oh man, because you know
Clarifying
Troy
question: what are they drunk on?
Schlitz.
I mean, you know, hey,
Schlitz.
dealers, yeah. They got a shotgun of Schlitz, play beer pong with.
Boys, we just got our next pay-per-view,
Yeah.
and I guarantee we can do this while social distancing, except for Aikman and Skip. But like, who cares, right? That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm
Or
gonna
they could do
Aikman's
like
all
a
up-
fatal
He can
fatal 4-way. You can have those two, and then throw in Stephen A. and Kevin Durant.
Oh,
I want to do. I would like to
How
see.
tall is Troy Aikman? That's unfair because Kevin's got like 6 inches on him, on all of them at least.
Like, are we talking about height wise, or what are we talking about?
But yeah, because I feel like Kevin would go like
Oh.
2 steps up the ladder and just like grab the thing.
That's true. So we'll make it like a Hell in a Cell match.
What about-
Ooh.
Jacob's ladder from Kings Island.
Oh, fuck that game. I hate that thing.
That would be funny to see drunk people do that shit.
Hornswoggle
I
is the
believe-
special guest referee.
Mike,
I
who do you,
say, I believe John just described Fridays in Cincinnati in
right.
December.
I want a tag team match. I want Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless up against Ezekiel Elliott and his mom, and then like I feel like there's
Cowboy
enough.
Nation just behind him?
Yeah, there's enough bad blood there on both sides that I think Zeke and his mom could take Skip and Stephen A. at that point.
I was just saying, that's not a fair fight, dude. Skip and Steven need help.
It feels like one of those matches where one of either Skip or Stephen A. turn on the other or walk away from the ring. You know, like you've seen those tag team matches where they either turn on the other one or one's getting their ass beat and the other one's just like, forget it, I'm out of here.
So, all right, so new twist to it, because I was like, how do we even up this Zeke and his mom thing? Chicken fights, like in the pool, right? Where like someone would be in the pool and have someone else on their shoulders, right? So I'm
Yeah.
thinking Zeke on the bottom, his mom at the top, Stephen A. or probably Stephen A. because Skip is like fragile on the bottom, Skip on the top. I feel like that'd be a fair fight.
No.
What? The reach?
Apparently, Skip lifts weights.
Yeah, Skip's
Yeah.
Skip's
Those-
old man
those-
jacked.
Those 2-pounders at the yoga studio.
Yeah. But I'm going to spin it a little bit. Zeke's going to be on top. His mom's like, Zeke, I got you.
She probably would too, though. She's like, I got this for my baby. I carried you all my life. You know what I mean? Like,
Mom's strength, it's unmatched.
right? She worked hard to get him into OSU, and then he took over. Yeah, I
Oh,
respect that.
Let's talk a little bit more analysts here as we get towards the end of the show here. We got a couple things we want to get through. So first, ESPN struggling to figure out what to do with Monday Night Football after the horrible Jason Witten and Booger mobile experiment. ESPN tried to move Booger into the booth with Testator, resulting in Booger saying some of the most obvious shit we've ever seen in a broadcast. Now ESPN is trying to get someone else for Monday Night Football, but they struck out with Romo. They attempted to get Peyton Manning. He passed on it. And now the new rumor is they want Herb Street and Fowler potentially as the team to call Monday Night Football games. Mookie, you are a college football aficionado. Do you want to see Fowler and Herb Street in the Monday Night Football booth?
No.
I couldn't hear you.
John,
That's a negative.
John, do you want Herb Street and Fowler?
be honest, I mean, I think they do a good job with college football. But I mean, if they're looking for good people to take over, I think that'd be it. It'd be a tough transition. I feel they know the college game too well. They've been there for what? Herb Street's been there since '95,
He's been there
96.
forever.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So I mean, he's just the face of college football, like as an analyst. So, what I suggest is you bring John Gruden back in, and even if his game's going on, he can come in.
He ain't doing shit on the sideline anyways. He ain't calling
I mean,
plays.
hang out with Hooters girls. I don't know what you want me to do. I mean,
Free wings to the booth.
I feel like you could just send Frank Caliendo to the Raiders game and
That's
they wouldn't
what-
know any different.
No,
They'd be like, that's
I
fine.
have had- We
That was
need
my
to get rid
second
of
one.
Frank Caliendo. He needs to go.
go.
No, send him to
Joe-
the Raiders. Let him coach the Raiders while Gruden goes and does Monday Night Football, and then it's fine. It's all good.
I was
Check this out, guys. He's gonna do the Y2 banana right here. Y2 split banana. That's what the Raiders are gonna run right here.
So I had the new sensation Joey Molinaro, who does all the impressions. Him and Frank Caliendo together, as Frank Caliendo as John Madden, and Joey Molinaro as Colin Cowherd. Just both talking as other people, but doing the game. I think that would be solid.
I dig that.
John, we're no longer friends. Sorry.
Chris America, do you want Herb Street and Fowler in the booth?
I mean, it's better than what we have now. My question is whose hiring process has been more embarrassing? When Tennessee was looking for a coach a couple years back, or Monday Night Football trying to get this right? Because how far has ESPN fallen that they can't get the biggest names in sports analysts, color commentator world?
Dude, it's crazy to me. Like it's Monday Night Football. This was always the job that an analyst wanted. If you were a color commentator or like you wanted, it was like World Series, maybe Augusta. I feel like the Masters was always one of those. And then Monday Night Football. And you can't get anybody to do Monday Night Football? What the shit is going
But
on?
see, Mike, I think that's what it is, right? Like with the way that we have, there's so much football out there. There's so many opportunities. Like Monday Night Football doesn't hold that same spot like it used to, right? Like I don't really give a shit who's calling Monday night. I'm watching. You know what I mean? Like I'm not watching for people who are calling the game. I'm watching for the game. And so if you're Herb Street and Fowler, you're better served being on game day because of that full experience, everything that goes around with that brand. If you're Tony Romo, you want to stay on Fox when you can shine when Troy Aikman eventually has a seizure and then Joe Buck realizes we're done with you. Just go and get out of here. You know what I mean? So like you don't need the spotlight of Monday Night Football to promote your brand anymore. So there's other places to be able to shine and excel that way, and you don't need that venue. I think that's really what it is I don't watch Monday Night Football for the announcers at all. I watch for the football and to see how badly I'm going to lose my fantasy game that week. Simple.
That's a fair take there, Mookie. All right, this was
All I know is that as a 90s kid, I thought nobody could ever be worse than Dennis Miller. And then Booger McFarland was like,
Oh, God, yeah.
hold my swamp water. hold my jambalaya. Hold my jambalaya, I got you.
At least Miller had an excuse, right? He was a comedian. He's like, I don't actually know
Right,
shit
I don't
about
know
football.
sports. Yeah.
But
Third down, they've ever
grown man
down
called
here.
himself Booger.
It's third down, babe. That was Dennis Miller. I just remember him dropping babes every once in a while.
What about Pat McAfee?
See, that's a dude
Oh,
that
I
I
don't
think
know why
could
he's
do
not
it.
on there.
He
Because
actually
it's a national broadcast. You can't put McAfee on that game because you can't hit the dump button fast enough.
I mean, they already have him on
It's-
Thursday Night Football. On college ball.
That's
Let it
Thursday
fly.
night. No one watches that. Like
You shit me. I
watch
watched that Maction.
Thursday night.
You're not watching
Oh,
Maction on Thursday night?
Oh, no. Oh, see, everyone needs that Maction. Though. Like with McAfee, you need like a whole segment dump button. That's my point, right? Dude, be jumping into rivers and stuff, hanging out with co-eds in the stands. Like
He
you
would
can't be
be
putting that on national TV.
he would be entertaining as hell in that spot.
For the 3 games he lasted. Yes.
But it's all guaranteed money, though, right?
See, I think
Yep.
McAfee would make a great baseball color commentator because he tells such great stories, and that's what you need from your radio baseball guy. Is like you got to fill in that empty space between pitches and mound visits and stuff like that. And McAfee would be perfect for that.
I would take him in Cincinnati in a heartbeat because our color guy is the cowboy, and he's just a big old hillbilly who talks about ice cream and ribs way too much. And UDF ice cream, I'm gonna go after the game, get me some creamy whip. It's like, God damn, cowboy, this is ridiculous.
Could you imagine Pat McAfee calling a baseball game with Harry Carey?
It would be awesome. It would just be nuts.
Will Ferrell is Harry Carey.
Will Ferrell's Harry Carey.
Will Ferrell sucks. He's a Trojan.
You remember that whole fiasco of him going minor league game to minor league game,
Yes.
playing an inning?
He played for the Reds during that thing.
It's minor league baseball. By
First,
the way, paying their players $400 a week during the pandemic, so great they're basically keeping those dudes from dying
yeah.
by being able to feed them.
Who would have thought that they'd actually cough up some money for their minor league farm system during this?
Well, see,
Considering
and
they
here's
were
the
just
thing,
trying to
Steve.
cut teams.
I was going to say, and this is a raise for those guys too.
Right. Right.
'Cause they're normally like, well, we paid for your bus ride from Sioux City to Iowa City, so that's clearly like $500. Now they're actually giving them cash.
All right, real quick before we get out of here for the week, this was a story we missed last week. Apparently, there's a gamer who turned his crappy projector into life in the life of Toronto after he successfully projected classic retro games that he was playing, like Mario Kart, onto the building across from him. The screen appears to project 4 stories tall, and he says the building is perfect because there's no windows on that side, so he's not disturbing anybody by doing it. People were out like hanging out of their windows during the quarantine watching this. So, fellas, if you could make this work, what is the one game that you are going to project onto the building across from you while your all of your building is watching? Chris America, we'll go to you first.
I mean, right now I feel like everybody wants to see sports games, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing some MLB The Show. You won't like this, but I've been riding with the Milwaukee Brewers here.
You
For a
bastard.
season.
Why?
You bastard.
I just pick random teams that like I don't know much about every once in a while. Like especially with college football, I've been like half of the different teams. Like I'm Idaho right now in college football. I like just
Wait,
taking programs that don't do much historically and just making them into winners.
so you're rocking that old school NCAA, like what is it, 07, 05?
14 was the
Well, I
last year.
mean, 14 was the last rendition of it, and I'm still rocking with that one. So
Nice.
So Idaho
Respect.
yeah, Idaho Vandals. Yep.
Nice. Okay. Good.
Name a college
because
team.
of NCAA
Idaho's
football,
mascot.
because of NCAA football, I've owned every single version of it. I could probably name, if you give me a college, I could probably give you their mascot.
Oh my gosh!
All
Wait,
right,
John.
Your segment. Nope. Pivot. All right, we got to go heads up here.
I know. Now I
Idaho.
need to start
Rapid
like
fire.
looking for this.
In one example, Mike and I find colleges just straight up. Are we going
They
D1?
got to be
one double
FBS. Like I don't need you to be throwing out like Old Dominion. Like I don't need none of that. Like
Monarchs? You don't know the Monarchs?
We stumbled
No,
into
I agree with you though. We
territory.
cannot have Prairie View Falcons.
right. I don't need no
Mike,
Savannah
put the
States
chat.
out here.
All right, I'm not
Yes.
giving you guys anybody from the American since that's cheating on both of your takes
Hey,
here.
you're sharing your screen.
Oh shit!
I
See
just
that
want to
too?
cheat. I don't want to cheat.
Oh no, it's a link to the list of all the FBS
Oh, okay,
schools.
gotcha.
So Mike and I can rapid fire back and forth.
All right, Drew,
All right, how
go
you
for
wanna
it.
do this?
Go for it, Drew. You start. I will start pulling this up.
All right. All right. We'll start a little bit easy. So who do we start with, John so John's the incumbent. So maybe we start with the
Yeah, start
challenger,
with Chris America. Start with Chris
All
America.
right, Chris America,
But
you ready?
drink if you don't get it.
Yes, and you lose a little bit of honor.
Yes.
Georgia State.
Those are the Georgia State. Are they the Cougars?
Panthers. Drink, son.
Panthers. Damn it! I knew they were a cat of some sort.
That's all right.
Like,
John.
Right on.
That's a newer FBS squad too, by the way.
That's true, actually, from your perspective, where you're looking like 5-6 years back. But fair.
Yeah. But I knew they were cats of some sort.
Yeah.
John, Arkansas State.
Arkansas State.
Oh, I
Aggies.
know that.
No, they are the Red
No.
Wolves.
The Red Wolves, yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Damn,
man.
nobody
Oh for
close, so
this is
got
already
shocked over here.
disappointing. For
Hey, you know
No
what?
kidding.
There's a lot of names on this list. All
uh,
right. Mike, I'll go here. Ready?
Okay.
All right, Chris America. Middle Tennessee.
Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders.
Ooh, yes.
Yes, sir.
Actually, credit for adding the state, by the way.
yes, sir.
John, Coastal Carolina.
The Chanticleers.
Yes.
Ooh, he was so confident.
You're all about that Sun Belt over there, Mike.
That's right, baby. Someone's got to get
Also,
sun. I'm
Mike,
so
should
white over here.
Should we family feud this and leave open for a challenge if the initial answer gets
Yes. Yes. Let's go
I
ahead and
think
do
so,
that.
Alright.
yeah.
Let's do
Okay.
that, yeah.
wrong? All right. All right. Chris America, apologies in advance, but Louisiana Monroe.
That's where I was
shoot.
going.
Okay, so they're the Red Hawks?
Ooh.
The Warhawks. No.
Okay. Well, you can't. Yeah, they are the Warhawks.
And their colors are red.
Tell you what, Chris, you've done a lot better than me. I'm stuck on Louisiana Lafayette, the Raging Cajuns.
The Raging Cajuns.
I know, those are fun ones.
The UL Monroe Warhawks are the ones that beat Nick Saban in 2007.
Nice, okay.
Bless their souls.
Look at that, backing up with stats, too.
John, North Texas.
The Mean Green?
Yes, they are the Mean
Yeah.
Green.
Sherm, did you know that Notre Dame's enrollment's like 12,300?
I just saw that. That's kind of that. I feel like that's wrong.
I feel like they're probably cheating. Let's be honest.
Well, are they
Correct.
counting people or souls? Because if there's a lot of redheads there, then maybe there's only 12,000 souls, but there's like 60,000 people.
All right. Well, this game is over and this show is
All right, so
done.
Chris America, your next one. Ready? Liberty.
Ah, the Liberty Flames.
Yeah.
buddy, there you go.
Wow.
It was on the tip of the tongue.
I,
You had
I, I was sitting there. I was like, are they the Holy Flames or are they just the Flames? But
All right, John, if you get this right, we will call this a draw. If you get this one wrong, Chris America is the new champion of college mascots.
Oh, damn.
UTEP.
pressure.
UTEP.
Pressure.
University of Texas, El Paso,
That's correct.
the Miners.
They are the
Yeah,
miners.
the Miners.
Yes.
All right.
You guys both earn a rap
That
air
was,
horn.
uh,
I will drink
that was
to
actually-
that
Let's
one.
get a communal drink here, boys. That was nice. I feel like that played off well.
yeah. UTEP was actually R. Kelly's favorite team until he realized it wasn't that kind of minor.
Play us out, Mike. Play
I
us
was,
out on that
I was
one.
gonna
As a
say
high water mark. Play
with
us out.
with that, I still have to like thank the sponsors and shit.
We gotta rate the beer too. Yeah, that's a good call.
So with that, we will thank our sponsor Tavor. If you need to stock up your beer fridge, be sure to hit up Tavor. Download the app. Use the code 258023 on your payments and credit screen. You're going to get $10 off your second order. Stock up your beer fridge today with Tavor.
Hey, let me jump in right quick there because we are sellouts. I finally signed up for Tavor. I know I probably should have a long time ago, but damn, let me tell you, that shit is fun.
Dude, it's so
like
addicting.
Tinder, but I can't get in trouble.
It's it's so addicting. Like they are such good writers, and they will sell you
yeah.
on a beer in a second. And I can't tell you how much money I've spent on Tavor. It's well worth it. 258023 and get $10 off your second order with that code. This week, Mookie and I were drinking the science of selling marshmallows. Mookie, yay or nay on this beer?
I'm not done selling our sponsor, so I'm gonna throw this out because it's important to note the range they have on Tavor is ridiculous, though. So like you need to know that, understand that they're doing crates right now to support local breweries, so you can hop on there. It's a little bit pricier, but they're gonna support a lot of local breweries to make sure they stay afloat. They curate them by style. They do bombers. I feel like I've seen wine bottles show up and maybe just like really big beer. I don't know.
Sours.
It's awesome, dude.
It's real
My
good.
checkbook's glad I hadn't seen this sooner. My liver is glad I haven't seen this sooner. But it's all downhill from here, man. Sign up for Tavor. Still, Marshmallows has been good. I still haven't tasted the fruit or the citrus. I can definitely taste the sweetness. It's
Yeah.
solid. It drinks well. Not as thick and creamy as I would have wanted, but the flavor is solid. Totally holds up, man. And that 8.5, I mean, that can make up for a lot of differences in palate. So
Really good mouthfeel. I'm on board with this one as well. Chris America, how did your Kona hold up for you?
Well, I first want to say that my R. Kelly joke is brought to you by Cipro. For those of you with a UTI that need to pee freely, take Cipro.
You gotta save these, man, till the end so we can sign off with it.
My Kona was good, man. I'll probably be peeing freely later on tonight. It's one of the things I hate about drinking, man, is like you wake up like 4 or 5 times
right?
having to take a leak.
Damn.
Bro, you're processing.
John, how was your hustle from Rheingeist?
Hustle's good. I hustled right through it. So, I drank it real quick. And then I followed it up with an Urban Artifact.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice. Good call. Good call on some
that
UA.
one as well. So, they're both delicious. I do like the Urban Artifact sours. So.
Yeah, they make some good brews over there at UA. Support your local breweries wherever you guys are at. I read an article today that said 30% of the local breweries may not make it through all of this with the shutdowns and everything. So if you can pick it up curbside, get it delivered, whatever, find out a way to get that beer and support those folks, because after this is all over, we're gonna need even more craft breweries and good beer. So be sure to hit them up. Chris America, thank you for hopping on today, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for having me on.
It's great to see your face. I missed hearing your voice.
Hey,
dude.
did you see I grew a beard?
I did see that.
Is that a lot of work? Did you put in time?
No, so my show, Scout Team Radio, was between me and my co-host Loudbeard, and I've never had a beard.
Oh, yeah.
Until this past January, I've never had a beard once in my life. And I went on a trip, and I forgot my razor, and it was like a week-long trip, and I was like, yeah, let me just see how this beard thing goes. It's like the natural filter for men.
How's that affected your game? You doing better, doing worse, doing differently?
Lots of ladies love the beard, apparently. Apparently the ladies love the beard, so
it just upped your overall quotient.
Yeah, it's up my game.
Nice.
So
It's like
makes the eyes pop.
So is there any chance we're going to hear you back on a podcast anytime soon?
I think so. I think I need to get with Loudbeard, because I've missed it, man. I've missed being on the mic. Hopefully I get to come back on here.
Hell yeah,
again,
man. You're definitely going to come back on
we
here.
ain't doing shit, clearly.
Like, America needs this type of entertainment right now more than ever.
Absolutely.
Like, we need things to kind of distract us from all of the numbers and the deaths, and like I said, there's only so much coronavirus you can take. So,
trust me, Chris, we've seen our numbers change, and yeah, we're well aware people need this.
Yeah. So
'Cause we still suck, but people seem to like it more.
I like
Go
it.
figure.
Chris
Right?
America, where can people find you on social media?
You can find me at the Chris America. I'm just as pretentious as an Ohio State fan on Twitter.
But you have never sold your pants for booster money.
I mean, not for booster money, but I've done some things in pants for much less.
I'll be honest, there's a reason I had the booster in front of money, because as I was saying that, I realized I need to give you an out. 'Cause we've all been there, man.
Yeah.
All been there. College is dark. It's a dark time.
Well, Chris America, thank you so much for hanging out with us, and thank all of you for tuning in on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitter. This was it worked, I think. I don't know. We'll see.
I think it's working.
I think it happened, right?
Well, the best part is it's like our comments are coming in just as slow as they usually are.
Right.
So
Right. Mookie
And
John.
I'm usually one of the commenters. So.
Right, yeah, we cut out a third of our commenters by having you on the show, so that really screwed us up this week. But be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Craft Bee Sports. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcasts. We're on Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of them. And also be sure to check out 12 Ounce Sports. You can like them on all of those same platforms as well. Tons of content going on at 12 Ounce, so be sure to support those guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for sharing out the show. Mookie, John, always a pleasure. Chris America, thank you, my friend. To all of you guys, be safe, be healthy. Cheers, everybody.
Hey,
Peace
what do you
out.
call a Middle Eastern flying an
Oh,
airplane?
I don't know. I'm
No
afraid to
comment.
answer.
A pilot, you racists.